Yo, guys, tomato sauce in here. Tonight, I'm going to give you a preview of Trial of the Champion coming to Wrath of the Lich King Classic this week. That's right, folks. Phase 3 is launching on Tuesday, and it is going to be pretty cool. There is a new dungeon, a couple new raids, a lot of catch up mechanics, and you will see a lot of that in this Trial of the Champion preview. Essentially, there is a new heroic plus plus coming out, which is defense protocol beta. So you see that little circle over here on the screen. You'll be able to click this and pick from either heroic plus or the harder version called defense protocol beta. It's really not that hard. If you're already Ulduar geared, I think it's again, more catered to catch up mechanics. But it's good because at the end of the day, whether you're Ulduar geared or not, if there's a piece that you never got from 10 man, you can loot something off the last boss in every dungeon called a sidereal essence, and you can trade those essences in for a piece of hard mode Ulduar 10 man gear, so you can actually farm up your caresses of insanity if you're an unholy DK or a frost DK. All those hard mode 10 man weapons are available. So let's start up this dungeon because I want to give you this little preview of what you'll see. So you can see we're actually on a vehicle. I started the recording a little late. You're going to have 4 abilities. There's a little joust ability, a charge ability, a block ability, and then a buff. See, so this buff is in the top right hand corner of my screen. You're going to want to try to keep 3 stacks of this up at all times while you're jousting with your opponent. So you can see we start jousting. I don't really know what I'm doing. So, just kind of running around, spearing people, right? The things we do for loot. And, kind of skip ahead a little bit. You'll see my health is low. And when you get knocked off of your horse, it's not the end of the game because essentially you can just get back up and get on another horse, right? So had I known I could just nitro boost over to another wolf, I would have done that a lot earlier. What's going to happen is when you get knocked off, they're going to knock you down and try to stomp on you, to kind of knock you down, right? But it's not a big deal, right? You're not really in danger of dying. Um, you can get on a wolf again though, and just jump back on it essentially. Then you finish up the joust. Just lower this a little bit. Finish up the joust. And for defense protocol beta, you'll see that there's a lot of fruit getting thrown in from the stands, as well as traps on the ground. But there's also buffs that you can get. So, like, you can get the Berserker buff, you can grab one of those healing buffs, you can step on a rose, and it'll give you, like a 15% attack speed buff. So there's some buffs littered in all of this madness as well, right? Um, you don't really want to walk into the fire traps. As you saw, they do a great deal of damage to your health. The frost traps slow you, and I believe also give you like a little ticking debuff. So you can see me just getting hit constantly. So we come back here. There's going to be a couple guys that we end up fighting, and you're basically just doing like a gauntlet style fight, right? So these guys, 3 guys we fight, just drop down the juice, and essentially you just take them out, right? So that's the first group. Now, after you kill these guys, they don't really do anything noteworthy. Um, at least it didn't seem like it in our group, but we are all geared. Um, it was pretty simple. Now there's going to be a chest in the middle of the room. You can see that some interesting loot drops from here. Some of it is from Ulduar 10 man. So you have some nice catch up gear coming from these dungeons. We also did another defense protocol beta dungeon, and we're able to find Ulduar 10 man gear and even some hard mode gear. or not hard mode, but Old War 10-man gear. I checked out what a banana did, and it essentially just trips you up. Now, the next group, there's going to be, I think, 3 sets of ads. If we go forward a little bit here, yeah. So there are 3 sets of ads, 1, 2, 3, and then you'll fight the boss. So you just clear from left to right the sets of ads. They really don't do much. There's one paladin ad here that bubbles, and you can mass dispel him. Kick the priestess so the heals don't go off. It's pretty simple. So just move forward. You can see second pack. Kill the monk. That's the paladin guy. So he's going to bubble and try to heal himself. You can just mass dispel him, kick and kill, or just mass dispel and kill. Um, then the third pack. Then we go into the boss. This boss has a few more mechanics. He's essentially going to do a Hammer of the Righteousness cast. If he picks you and throws his hammer at you, you can simply grab the hammer and throw it right back at him, and it'll stun him. Then he's also going to do a cast called Radiance. And when he does that Radiance cast, you're going to want to turn around. There's Hammer of the Righteous. I thought it was Radiance. Yeah, you're going to want to turn around on the Radiance cast because that will disorient you and damage to you. So there it is. That's the whole fight. So you can stun him with his Hammer of the Righteousness, and then with Radiance, you just want to turn around. That's it. That's pretty much the whole fight. You'll see Edric ends up going down. Then you go back into another RP. This is a very RP heavy dungeon, so since there's not really much trash, um, and every fight is essentially a boss fight, similar to the raid that's coming out. Um, you know, you're just kind of chilling. A lot of RP. You can see, right? Relentless edge drops. That's old Duar loot. All of it, I believe, is maybe 1 or 2 pieces aren't, but you can also get something called a champion seal, and you're going to want to loot that directly out of the chest. And that's for, some more gear, I'm sure. I'm sure you can turn it in for something, right? We'll figure that out when we get there. But let's go through the dungeon more. Now, the Black Knight, this guy has 3 phases. Essentially, you're going to have to kill him 3 times. He's going to look like a Death Knight the first time. Again, not much noteworthy if you have some decent gear. I'm sure it's a little bit more challenging if you're in catch-up mode gear. My DK's like 5K gear score, so he's chilling. The thing does spawn a lot of ads. So that was a little wacky. A lot of different ads come out. But basically, you kill him like this. Then you kill him with, where he's just like a naked undead, if I recall correctly. Double check. Yeah, so here's phase 2. He's just a skeleton. You knocked his armor off of him, and the rest of his flesh. And he's got all of his boys out. He's got his army of the dead, essentially. So you're going to want to just AoE all of this nonsense down. Really, with a prop pally tank, I think there's very little chance of anybody dying here. I'm sure Prot Warrior would be good as well for Shockwave. Now he reses a third time, and this is where you're going to see he turns into a ghost, and once again, you kill him. And yeah, there's no ads in this phase. It's just kill him, right? So just tank and spank. He targets a random person, it looks like, and does some damn. And you can see that was the last boss of the dungeon. So we were able to grab our sidereal essence. Um, and yeah, you can see frozen orbs drop, 225 Ulduar gear drops, and some tier as well, some 10-man tier. So you can definitely catch up very quick in these defense protocol beta dungeons. The new dungeon is a lot of fun. And it's different, right? So you're not going through like a linear dungeon, killing a ton of trash. At the end of the day, you're hanging out in this trial of the champion, going from gauntlet fight to gauntlet fight and grabbing loot pretty quickly. It's actually a pretty quick dungeon overall. How long were we in there? Yeah, so 14 minutes, and that was our first time in there. So 15 minutes since I left a little bit of the time off. But yeah, a very, very relaxing, chill dungeon. And yeah, should be a pretty good way to get caught up in the new patch. So that's it, guys. Have a great week. Have a great month. Have a great year. Have a great night. All that stuff. I'm exhausted. Tomato sauce and out. Just wanted to give you guys a weekly video as we get ready to move into Trial of the Crusader. So take it easy, guys. Tomato sauce and out.